Yeah, exactly. Run as in light jog. Oh no, you're not getting away.
Raziel.
Remember this one? This is the same one as the Dark Beam from Blood Omen. Oh, come on. Again. And it doesn't help that the reach of the Reaver is so short. That's something that's fixed in Defiance. In Defiance, Reaver is in proper size. It's not just a little toothpick that's sticking out of your arm. It's properly big. Oh, that's not a portal. For some reason I thought that was a portal there. But where would the portal be then? Ah, there it is. And there's a checkpoint as well. I mean, it's fair that the end of the game would be this difficult, but it's difficult for all the wrong reasons. My way through the swamp. I don't know if the demons are gonna continue to hound me all the way to the fortress or if they were just in that bit, but we will see that shortly. If there's a demon gate in front of me, then yeah. And there's an air vent, might as well use it. I'm not sure if the imbues actually increase the strength of the Reaver, but no harm in taking it. Aha. Yeah, there goes another one.
You shall not pass.
Yeah, that's also not an accidental reference, especially considering his design.
Oh.
So these dark demons, they are, if you remember Blood Omen 1, the ending of Blood Omen 1, they are the same. It's the same demon that we fought on the end of Blood Omen 1. That isn't an accident. The same, it's a demon from the same, oh. Oh, for crying out loud, I got stun locked there. The demon from the same age. Oh, without the water here, it's kind of confusing where I need to go. Yeah, if you remember, this whole place is usually underwater, but not in this age. I think I need to go this way. Oh, come on. Okay, that way maybe? I need to go to that large chamber, which is now gonna be completely without water. There it is. And there's demons, of course. Okay. Glad I brought wind with me. I think that's the way I need to go. Ah, okay. No, 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 no. I slipped and fell. My favorite would be actually the first Blood Omen, closely followed by Defiance. Story-wise, though, Soul Reaver 2 probably. All of the most important details of the story are actually revealed, and I didn't press the button. This one is on me. I didn't press the button. All the most important bits of the story are actually revealed in Soul Reaver 2, which is why I like it the most. And there's more demons. Also, the ending of Soul Reaver 2 is one of the most impactful. We will be seeing that very soon. But Defiance's ending is absolutely epic. Oh, for crying out loud. What's wrong with my jumping? It's working. I think this is one of those cases where if you don't press the button a bit earlier, it just doesn't register the jump on that particular edge. Yeah, that would be the case. Okay, we're on the other end of this. Cave system. Now we have to get back all of these guys. Don't feel like fighting them. Still have to swim through this area because this is where the Elder God is. Take note that in this age, before Kain's corruption, because before everything in Blood Omen occurred, he's barely anything. He's the smallest, so he's obviously hungry. He hasn't even filled out this room. In the future, he takes the entirety of the, well, most of the continent actually, by the time the Soul Reaver 1 happens, which is 1,000 years from now.
You have failed me, Raziel.
I wonder, Old One. Did you truly resurrect me, or were you simply there when I awakened from my torment in the abyss? I suspect you found me merely convenient, dropped in your lair by Kain, indestructible for some reason, a durable and gullible tool for you to manipulate. This one thing I readily admit. I have been used by others time and again, but always I seem to stray from their path. What is it about me, demon, that makes me such an unreliable instrument? Why do I survive one trial after another, on and on, in an endless succession of humiliating deaths and resurrections? It seems there is much more to my destiny and my history than I know. Perhaps more than you know as well.
So this is the point where Elder God is actually giving up on using Raziel as a tool. But that's gonna be touched upon more in Defiance. And this is where Raziel is essentially suspecting that the Elder God, who isn't named by the way, it's never, that God doesn't have the Wheel of Fate, he doesn't have an official name, it's just referred to as the Elder God. And that's the name that was used in the manual, even though nobody ever calls him that. Even a moment ago, Raziel just called him the Old One. Oh no. That's not where the enemy is facing. Yeah. Reaver's eating me now. One blow, one arrow to the face, and I'm back in the spectral realm. Those spirits are actually out here. I was expecting Sarafan to be around here. So we are currently in the age before the I think 500 years before Kain was born, something like that. Or 100 years before Kain was born. I'm not really sure what. It's the age of the Sarafan. So prior to Blood Omen. And before okay, I'm definitely going... Yeah, one fireball was enough. Would you stop with the little slaps? Let me absorb a soul in peace. Thank you. There a portal here? There is. Because in the real world, Reaver is more powerful. Yeah, I'm over here. Oh, come on. There is no point in dodging if the dodge doesn't work. And back in the spectral realm. You mean the demon? These are the black demons. These are the ones I've mentioned. They are the demon, the same type of demon that was the one that we took out at the end of Blood Omen 1, the final boss. So these black demons are the same thing. I'm not really sure if I'm even causing damage by doing this. Yes, I am. You know what? Yeah. That's right. It's just the same type. It's they're spamming with that same type of demon, the black one. The black demon is the worst of all of them for multiple reasons, but one of them being that he has both a strong range attack and a strong melee attack. So he is just a pain in the neck. And the problem I've mentioned is with the dodge is even if you dodge, the attack of the enemy still follows you. And that can be a problem. I'm facing the wrong way, aren't I? Yeah, I am. So how a dodge should be working and how it is done in other games is when you're dodging. Oh, come on. I don't like that the camera is doing that. I'm not exactly... There we go, finally. So normally when you have a dodging mechanic in the game, the point of the dodge is that you go the one way and the attack goes the other way and it misses you. In this game, did I just go the wrong way? I did go the wrong way. For some reason, I just made 180 degrees and I went the wrong way. Yeah, that soldier had no clue what to do about it. So, hold on. What was the point of that? That was if I wanted to go back, so I just made things difficult for myself for no reason. Because this is the correct way. Oh.
There's another one. Return to hell.
Ouch. Good shot. Please, no more demons.
Return to hell.
No, thank you. And now I have to find a sunlight font. I think there is one there. Yeah, that soldier was definitely confused by what was doing that on that font. So this is a fire thing. Yeah, I need to fire. Hold on, why do I need to fire? Oh yeah, because I need to break the ice. Makes sense. But first. Let me teach you the art of fireball. Ouch. Well, that was a kind of a waste of a soul, but okay. Okay, now the door can be opened.
Sarafan brothers, unite! Return to hell!
Things will become a lot easier once I get the physical Reaver. Nobody's gonna guard you, you're dying. I kinda want a soul from you, so... I think you're gonna drown if I hit you in the water. Yep. Hello! Did I drown you too? You would think that somebody who works in a fortress next to a river would learn how to swim. Anyway. Where's the door? The other side, probably. Yeah, they're on the other side. Oh, for crying out loud. I completely forget throughout this whole game that there is a block button. I don't think I used the block almost at all this entire game. And that would probably complement the dodge, probably. But I didn't really realize. I think that that's the most unused command that I've not used this entire game.
Suddenly and inexplicably, I discovered the Reaver suspiciously laid across my path. Again, I sensed nothing of that temporal distortion, the peculiar sense of displacement I had felt when I encountered the Reaver in William's chapel. Cornered here with the blade, I suffered the same nameless dread that I had experienced when Janos first presented the Reaver to me. I felt at once repelled by the blade, and yet overwhelmingly compelled to seize it.
So, Raziel, here we are finally. You have no choice but to confront me now, and I am not so foolish as I've let you believe. We have business to conclude.
You knew I would lead the Sarafan to Janos, you vile bastard. You've been orchestrating my every move. My destiny is an amusement to you.
It was fun while it lasted. I think not, Raziel. Malik, do not let this creature leave. He poses a danger to the circle. Poor, deluded Raziel. Did you somehow imagine you had the guile to change history on me? I'm the time streamer. I I knew your every intention before you did, you imbecile.
Lord Mobius, there is trouble within. The circle is under
Hold
attack.
fast, Malik. This one is the real danger to us.
What are you trying to concoct here, Mobius?
You toxic creature. Did you imagine I'd simply allow you to run loose, corrupting everything you encounter?
I admit that I've underestimated you to this point, Mobius. But it's a mistake I won't repeat.
Wrong again, Raziel. Now, Malik, bolt the door.
Using his staff to disable my Wraithblade, Mobius effectively disarmed me, leaving me with only one choice of weapon. And yet I confess, it was not the lack of options, but blind rage that made me take up the Reaver. In my fury, it felt as though my hand had acted of its own will. And now, that same hand clutched the hilt with unyielding strength, and I felt a constrained tingling, a remote but palpable sense of longing, as the disabled Wraithblade tried vainly to embrace its physical twin.
We finally got the physical Reaver. At this point, I am invincible. So here's the thing. Originally, the original Reaver, which is what I'm holding right now, it wasn't there to consume souls. It was a vampire sword. It was consuming blood. Meaning, as I strike enemies, I get replenished.
Come to take your revenge, demon.
Back to hell with you!
I recognize these two as my former brethren, in life as Sarafan, and in unlife as Kain's vampire sons. Melchiah and Zephon, the weakest of Kain's brood. These bastards had no idea what future lay in store for them, how they would become the very thing they so despised. The Reaver hummed with ravenous anticipation. Janos had called it a vampiric blade, endowed with the power to drain its victims of their lifeblood. I was eager to see what the Reaver would do to these two.
You will notice that I'm not losing any health. This is essentially God mode. Melchiah and Zephon fell before my blade. I
felt the Reaver's bloodthirst as keenly as I ever had when I was still a vampire. I could sense the boundary between us dissolving. The Reaver was consumed with my rage, and I was intoxicated by its bloodlust. The blade had a vitalizing effect on me. My physical energy no longer decayed over time, and the wounds inflicted by my foes healed almost instantly. The Reaver had made me invincible.
Normally in games, when you reach the final bosses, you are at your most vulnerable, but you acquired all the powers, and so here you're made literally immortal.
Have you come to reclaim the monster's black heart?
You'll have to get through us first.
My former brethren, Duma and Rahab, confronted me next. This all seemed so elegantly choreographed. Exhilarated by the Reaver, I was drunk with revelations. I could finally appreciate the delicious irony of Kain's blasphemous private joke, and I reveled as I colluded with him across the centuries. For it was I who put these bastards in their tomb, thus providing the corpses for Kain to raise as his vampire sons a millennium from now.
Get back to the pit you crawled from, demon.
And here at last was my brother Turel, who along with Duma would bear me into the abyss without questioning Kain's command. So dutiful and righteous, even as a vampire. I guess some habits die hard. The vampire Turel had eluded my vengeance. The Sarafan Turel would not.
There we go. Only myself remains.
So, vampire, here we are. You've destroyed my brethren, and now you've come for me. You'll find I'm not such easy prey. I don't want to kill you, but I will if I must. Return the heart to me, and we can end this now. So, you've come to avenge that filthy parasite and reclaim his foul heart. You're a righteous fiend, aren't you? Apparently I am. No, vampire. This is where it ends. But you won't be leaving this room. Now, let's finish this. I'll make it mercifully quick. As you did for Janos? No, that beast had eluded us for far too long. It would have been a shame to end him too quickly. It's ironic, really. The great Janos Ordrin turned out to be no challenge at all. Thanks to you. Did you hear his cowardly screams when I tore that black heart out of his carcass? Oh. Oh. Oh.
Which way are you pointing? I have a sneaking suspicion that maybe they did it this way because they are so aggressive that it might be too difficult to defeat them normally.
And so it ends. My history comes full circle. Sensing its twin, the Wraithblade uncoiled itself from me, and instead wound lovingly around its former self. I felt its grip loosen, and as the blade left me, its absence chilled me more than its presence ever had. A foreboding sense of emptiness and loss stole over me, and a terrible revelation gathered like a storm at the edge of my awareness. With all other foes exhausted, The conjoined blades turned themselves on me, and I realized, finally, why I had sensed nothing when Janos offered me the blade. The Reaver was never forged to be a soul-stealing weapon. The ravenous, soul-devouring entity trapped in the blade was, and always had been, me. This is why the blade was destroyed when Kain tried to strike me down. The Reaver could not devour its own soul. The paradox shattered the blade. So, this was my terrible destiny. To play out this purgatorial cycle for all eternity. I could not bear it. Despair overwhelmed me. You. Are you enjoying this, Kain? Don't fight it, Raziel. Give into it. Was this your destiny for me all along? Trust me. I felt myself weakening, unable to hold on any longer. The Reaver was too strong. The compulsion to simply let go, too great. And then, a growing sense of vertigo and the familiar displacement. The paradoxical moment when my twin soul hovered both outside and inside the Reaver blade. This was the instant, the glimmer of temporal distortion Kain had been counting on all along. This was the edge of the coin, the minute flicker of probability upon which Kain had gambled everything.
Now you are free to reclaim your true destiny, Raziel.
Behind Kain's eyes, I could see new memories blooming and dying as history labored to reshuffle itself around this monumental obstruction. And I could see by the dawning horror on his face that perhaps we had strained history too far this time. That by trying to alter my fate, he may have introduced a fatal paradox.
My God. The Hilden. We walked right into their trap. Raziel. Janos must stay dead.
But Kain's warning was lost as I slipped into the spirit realm, too weak to maintain my physical form. And there, waiting for me as always, was the Reaver, the Wraithblade, my own soul, twinned and bound eternally to me. And I realized that I could never escape my terrible destiny. I had merely postponed it. History abhors a paradox.
Okay, I'm gonna jot this one down because my memory isn't all so great. And I'm gonna check out what these bonus materials are because I don't remember them. I mean, it's a simple thing. Left triangle, right triangle, down, circle X. Okay. Okay, so that was Soul Reaver 2. This was, yeah, Vic, you have a good point. If you design a boss so it can't be defeated normally, that might be bad design. But I think that they were just not sure how to do it with fairly, and they knew how they wanted to finish the game, but they didn't know how to do it without increasing level of annoyance, because boss rushes in games are usually very tiring, and this had to be done in a very short window to not lose the impact of the story. So essentially making yourself immortal made sense, especially because it makes story sense because of how the Reaver was forged. The Reaver was never a soul absorbing weapon. That's what Raziel's soul within it made it into. And this is why this is my favorite, one of my favorite endings in the Legacy of Kain series, that the most important revelations are made here. The reason why the Reaver shattered when the Kain struck Raziel with it is because it was Raziel himself. Raziel himself is the ravenous spirit within the Soul Reaver blade. So what he has coiled around his arm, fused, is his twin soul, and that's what's causing the paradox, this distortion effect that always occurs when the physical Reaver and the Wraith Reaver are getting together, is because of the paradox of two instances of the same being in close proximity. And the reason why it didn't happen initially when the original Reaver that was made and was safeguarded by Janos was given to Raziel is because the Reaver was at that point just a vampire blade. It was empty. So, and it was the existence of Raziel as a Soul Reaver himself that made the Reaver absorb him to begin with. So it's that's the, if you notice that serpent biting its tail on which we ended up the game on, that's symbolic. That's Ouroboros. It represents infinity. It represents all of eternity repeating itself. And that's what's happening. Raziel's entire existence is a loop. It's he was human that was killed by himself from the future. He died, resurrected as a vampire, then made a loop in history with the Reaver in hand, became the Reaver, then became Kain's weapon. Kain wielded it until he raised Raziel's human corpse as a vampire, struck him with it, it destroyed, it birthed Soul Reaver as a Wraith Blade, and that goes in circle and over again. That's the revelation made in Soul Reaver 2. And that and the key moment when Kain explained earlier in the game is that history is irrefutable. You can't change history. Small changes don't cut it. Only paradoxes can cause history to change. So what Kain was bargaining for, what Kain was hoping for, that when the moment comes for the Wraith Blade to absorb Raziel, for the physical Reaver to absorb Raziel, because it will create another paradox that he will be able to exploit. But, as it turns out, the Hilden, the hidden enemy, are actually hoping for that. They were counting on that exact thing happening. So, everything that Kain hoped for was a trap. Okay, so bonus materials. Let me see here. On which screen did it say that I need to enter this on? The main screen. Okay. Well, this is just a preview of Blood in Blood Omen 2, which we will be playing anyway. These are other Eidos games. Okay, so I'm gonna go through these just to record them, and if anybody actually wants to read all of this, they're free to do so from the recording when you can pause. It would take this is essentially the all of story of Legacy of Kain up until this point in time. There's the timeline. This is actually very cool. This is all available on the wiki as well for anybody who does want to find out more. And I'm going to scroll through them just so that they're recorded for anybody who wants to cut out. So these are all the and Soul Reaver 1 opening movie. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the Soul Reaver.